I was speechless. Patti LaBelle confirmed what many long believed. Luther Vandross was gay. Being both black and gay and living publicly and unapologetically at the intersection of both, perhaps one would expect Patti's confirmation to further validate and affirm me as a black gay man. But then one would be mistaken. Luther died without coming out, but long before Patti's confirmation, I, like many black gay men, claimed Luther as one of us. Luther's lyrics spoke to me, if not to my sexuality, then certainly to a different kind of masculinity, a masculinity I expressed, and a masculinity many tried to suppress in me. Luther's words, his expressions, soft and gentle like satin, gave me a different version of loving and being loved. Luther was the kind of man I wanted to be. In Chicago, my hometown, we heard the rumors and speculations. In those years when I began to come to terms with my sexuality, coming into my sexual identity as opposed to publicly coming out, the ambiguity of Luther's sexuality provided a space to have conversations, particularly with black women. My sensitivity gets in the way, my go-to song. When I presented my interpretation of these lyrics, black women would question, if it was true, why wouldn't he just come out? The ambiguity, this lack of confirmation, created a space for conversations about sexuality and about acceptable and unacceptable forms of masculinity in our community. In those conversations, at times, black women conceded the potential and sometimes even conceded the likelihood that Luther was gay. I enjoyed having those conversations, even if I didn't completely convince them. To come out, to make a public declaration, one must also consider the impact of that public action and what one comes into. For this, for our unwillingness to come out, black gay men are punished, made suspect, seen as closeted with liminal and unresolved identities that keep us on the down low or earn us the title MSM. To negotiate these perceived unresolved identities is to make use of imitation, mimicking, and duplicity. Forms of social negotiation linked to trickster figures who are always marginal characters on the outside of the community and thus cannot trust or be trusted. While we are punished for our unwillingness to publicly come out, we are punished more for the accommodation we give to the black community, perceived as unwilling to accept us. Many black men negotiate our sexual identity and adjust levels of outness to match the multiple contexts in which we engage. We negotiate visibility and engagement with public spaces in the so-called gay community while maintaining strong connections to black family members, including for some of us attending and participating in the church. Luther loved his mama, and like many black gay men, Luther took his mama to church. Even as a grown-ass man, I can only assume Luther did not question or challenge his mama, if at all, certainly not on her religious views. He wasn't going to throw his sexuality in her face. The black church, black faith and values help many black folks survive the stuff they go through. God, perhaps not my God, seems to get them through. To blatantly contradict and confront serves what end? Like many gay black men, Luther accommodated as he sought to protect his mama from conversations she'd be forced to have with members of her community and her church. Luther loved and accommodated his female fans, particularly black women, attracted as I was to his soft, sensitive version of masculinity. Patti's confirmation violated perhaps the most sacred pillar of friendship, discretion. Patti positioned Luther as a rule breaker and reinforced old stereotypes that cast black gay men, perhaps Patti's biggest fans, as sad, closeted tricksters. Because her confirmation removed all doubt, Patti also created more work. Because I no longer need to convince black women that Luther was gay, Patti essentially limited the opportunity to have conversations, rendering me speechless.